Hello, everybody. This is Dread, and no, I don't like that beginning at all. Let's do that again. Hello, everybody. This is Miss Valley Entertainment News, and my name is Dread. So, sometimes in life, it's about timing. When I say that, I'm specifically referring to this here channel of mine. I started out, and not long after I started it, I dumped on Starfield quite a bit. Now, it was still early in Starfield's release. So Starfield had a lot more people backing it online and being very vocal about how great of a game it was and how great Bethesda was for putting it out and how it was, anybody who would say anything bad about it got shot down by 30 people jumping in to tell them they were wrong. And fans of Bethesda and fans of Starfield at the time were very, very vocal. It was probably for me and as a small channel a bad timing to do what I did and talk about Starfield and in a negative light because people jumped on that, people didn't like it, and as we see as time has moved on, you look at the Steam reviews for Starfield and they're mixed. It's not a great game. It's well accepted now that it's not a great game. People enjoy it? Yes, some people enjoy it, for sure. But even those who enjoy it, I think, can at least admit it has some major issues. So this is a good time, I believe, with how the channel has just started to take off with talking about Bethesda and modding and pay mods coming. Probably a good time to jump back a little bit into this. We're not going to sit here and rag on Starfield so much, but we are going to play something that deals with Starfield as well as Bethesda as a whole. So I found this online just now. It is called I Hate Bethesda, and it's by Harmful Opinions. I will link this down below so you can check it out by yourself if you want to. You're under no obligation to listen to my nattering over it. If you just want to check it out, go down below, check with the link, but because I showed it to you, at least leave a like on the video. I think that's only fair for me to ask that. Because, lifeblood of the channel and all that good stuff. Interesting. Sorry, little technical issues. There we go. Look at that. Thank you all so much. All right, moving on. We're going to get into the video and we're going to talk about I've already watched it once. I thought it was kind of silly and a little backhanded and off the mark at first, just a silly little piece. But as it went along, I found it was a very, very deep, honest conversation that I wasn't expecting. So let's take a look at I Hate Bethesda by Harmful Opinions.
I have some deeply disturbing news to share regarding Bethesda Game Studios. Oompa Loompas are real. Todd Howard has enslaved them. They are writing responses to negative reviews of Starfield as I speak.
That's why I was thinking a little silly. Oompa Loompas are writing responses for Starfield. It starts out pretty silly, but just stay with it.
One of them responded to a Steam friend of mine who had heavily criticized the game as not being worth it unless much more is done to fix and improve it. Greetings! Thank you for taking the time to leave a review for Starfield. You can fly, you can shoot, you can mine, you can loot. Starfield is an RPG with hundreds of hours of quests to complete and characters to meet. Cute. Here's a rhyme in return. Hey, look, I've kidnapped your son. Now you'd better refund. Just kidding. They can't refund me. I played it on Game Pass with the code Microsoft gave me because I'm an epic video game streamer on Twitch, and soon also on YouTube and Kick via Restream.
Oh, shameless self-plug for the guy. Shameless self-plug for Harmful Opinions or whatever he goes by on Twitch. I have no idea. I have no idea who he is. Honestly, never heard of him before this moment. But if you're successful, good on you, bud.
So, I didn't pay anything, and their children are all safe until The Elder Scrolls 6 comes out and is a disappointing mess developed in such a way that even when running as intended, it is actively hostile to all human senses and unsuitable for consumption by any living being.
As he says that actually hurts. It's one of those kind of things that's said in a silly way, but he's being kind of honest. What do we expect after the dog shit we've got lately from Bethesda? What do we expect for Elder Scrolls 6? My expectations for Elder Scrolls 6 were they're going to look at what the modding community has done to Skyrim, and we're going to get that. We're going to get that right out of the bat with their game. It's going to be freaking amazing, and then the modders will pile in and do even better. You know, they've regressed with Starfield. They've gotten even worse after Fallout 76 was a dog shit disaster. After Redfall was a where are we going with this? Where are we going with this company? Why are we holding out any hope other than for nostalgia's sake that they're going to do any game any justice? I currently have no hope for them for Elder Scrolls 6. I expect it to be a game I will never buy, never play, because they can't be trusted to make a good game.
Which I'm sure it will be. I do, though, feel just sort of sick. Even if I will be showing mercy to Bethesda for now, I am disgusted. The people reviewing Starfield negatively on Steam coughed up at least £60 for the privilege of eating shit. And then a representative of the companies they paid that money to swoops down and calls them a retard. Because that's what happened.
Again, harsh, put in a amusing way to soften the blow. But think about it. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Bethesda was touting this as the best game they've ever made. 7 years of hard work. This is it. This is the culmination of all our work, lovingly given to you, the fans. So you can be bored out of your freaking minds. And then we can tell you, no, you're just wrong to be bored. You're gaming wrong. You just don't know how to enjoy a game. Poor you. I guess if you just follow more of our studio, more of our games, maybe eventually you'll figure it out. Elitist fucking trash. That's what Bethesda is right now.
Someone wrote multiple paragraphs detailing various points of disappointment based on personal taste and even more objective issues regarding the game's performance as a piece of software. Then, one of these whack-a-mole dipshit interns sticks its head up under their post to screech, "Did you know there are side quests? Did you know there are characters you can interact with? Did you know there are guns in this game?" Having flushed what they spent on Starfield down the toilet,
Sad.
The people leaving these reviews have now, in a roundabout way, paid for this trash to be written to them as well.
Thank God for Larian Studios. Now, Larian Studios is not everyone's cup of tea. Their games are not everyone's cup of tea. I get it. They do RPGs. They do it in a certain way. Their fans love them. There's other people who are like, I don't get it. Or like, no, I hate that shit because that's not the kind of games I play. Absolutely. But Larian Studios, with their previous work and now with Baldur's Gate 3, which thank God released like it did and before Starfield, have shown the gaming community not only what it looks like when you put your all into a game and you love the game and you care for the game. They've also shown that what happens when a studio loves and cares for and listens to their fans and puts them first. And then Bethesda put out Starfield. With Baldur's Gate 3, my expectations went up. And people in the industry started to freak out. You can't expect us to be like that. Well, no, we don't expect you to put out Baldur's Gate 3. We expect you to put that kind of love, attention, care, and detail into your games. And we expect you to treat your fans that way and listen to them and make the game that the fans want. expectations went up. And then Starfield, which had super high expectations. Let's be honest. People were excited about this for the last 7 years. What happened? Look at it right now. It's Starfield came out in September, October, November. We're maybe we're about 3 months. We're about 3 months past when it came out. My expectations for, Bethesda are way down here, down below the seat of my chair, people. After that, and after what they're doing right now on the Steam forums and other places, the way they're treating the customers. Let's go on. I'm getting into a rant, and I never meant to. I wanted you guys to see what goes on here, what's been said in this video. So let's get into it. My apologies.
Disgust. Utter disgust is what I feel. Let me explain something. I don't take a moral position on not playing games worked on by weirdos. Typically, I care more about things that are concretely part of the game or related to purchase of the game. If I've been lied to about what a game is, I'll want a refund. If I've been promised something won't occur, like microtransactions being added to Payday 2 back in the day, I'll want a refund, as the product is no longer what I was sold. In a way, I was specifically promised it wouldn't change.
Directly lied to.
But
Get it?
if I'm fully aware of the situation beforehand, it won't stop me from buying a game. Unless the situation is that, say, the game as a piece of software will damage your PC, but that's pretty extreme and rare. Though it does happen sometimes, normally related to particular hardware. If something's made by horrible people like breast milk thieves, there's a good chance I'll still be interested in looking.
Did you just throw the words breast milk thieves? That's actually a little bit impressive.
There's a good chance I'll still be interested in looking at what has been made.
Okay.
Even a game that's obviously going to be a poor experience, I might have some interest in trying it for myself. Point is, I don't hold any principle that stops me from engaging with media.
I bought games before they knew were bad.
Yeah, and any advocacy not to play something from me would typically be on consideration of cost and what you could get instead with limited money. It takes quite a lot to make me actively not want to play something for reasons that are outside the game itself. Bethesda is a special developer for me.
Oh. I think he's going to start to unload a little bit here. He's narrowing this down and saying, look, this is not how I normally feel about game developers. But
where there's been a seed growing in me, planted by Todd Howard himself. When it started to grow, the primary symptom was apathy. Increasingly, their releases blended back into the general gaming landscape, despite my childhood obsessions.
Exactly.
But having been watered by broken promises, bad experiences playing their games, and now the contempt I feel towards them as a company thanks to their responses to reviews, the seed they planted has grown and blossomed into a beautiful flower of aversion. I can't see myself playing any more Bethesda releases in the future. Not out of principle. I'm not saying, no, don't touch Bethesda, they're terrible, they're horrible. But because their name is so tainted to me, so instinctually do I feel repulsion just at the thought of something being made by them.
I'm actually with them here. I don't want to touch any more Bethesda products. I still play Skyrim. I'll play the shit out of Skyrim. I love Skyrim. I might go and eventually play the Fallout games that I bought that I've never installed and played yet. Some of the earlier ones. Just to try them out and play around with them. But for me, I mean, Oblivion and Morrowind, I've tried both of them, but only very briefly. They're very dated games to me because I didn't play them back in their day. It's hard for me to enjoy those. But anyways, for myself, I just feel like, kind of like he does. Like, why I don't trust them at all. I don't trust them as a company. I don't trust them as human beings. They don't seem like decent human beings. They don't seem like a decent company or a trustworthy company. So why would I get excited about anything that will be coming out for them? Why would I want to purchase anything that comes out for them? The only way I would is wait like 6 months after it comes out, see how the reviews are, see how they're treating people, see how the game was, and then think about it. If anybody ever told me, Elder Scrolls 6 will come out one day and I won't be blind enough to purchase it, I would have thought you're fucking crazy. But this is where I'm at right now. I just don't care. I don't care to spend money on something I know is going to be garbage. I just they don't care about me. I don't care about them.
That the mere knowledge of them having a hand in something makes me feel repugnance. The only scenario I can imagine engaging with a new Bethesda release is doing it purely for stream content over an hour or two, because viewers want to see it at least once.
Different story there.
Even, say, a Quake reboot would not tempt me if it were to happen. With FPS in mind, in fact, I distinctly remember the point at which I dropped Doom Eternal. I'd finished the campaign on Nightmare and was considering going for an Ultra Nightmare run. In the meantime, I checked out the master levels. The game crashed, and I never ran it again. Could happen with any game, not necessarily even the program's fault, but that little tug away from anything Bethesda that I feel meant I wasn't willing to push through and go again, whereas I would and have on many other titles where similar has occurred. I'm not sure any other developer has made me feel like this. Even with Blizzard, my reaction is normally, oh God, what have they done now?
Can't say a lot about Quake or Blizzard from personal experience, so I'll just let him talk.
Let's have a look. I'm excited, at the very least, to see what's up and share it with you guys, even if it is just to document disaster. Right now, I'm imagining The Elder Scrolls 6 coming at some point in the future, and all I can think is, oh, God, no. Not even because I'm scared of what they're going to do to The Elder Scrolls. There's not much left to be done to it, especially if you consider Elder Scrolls Blades. But because some people are going to expect me to actually look at that trash. My perspective on previous releases, even, games I loved, has soured. Bethesda is like a chef with a time machine, going back to the past to take a dump on every plate of food I've ever eaten from them.
I knew this was coming. I gotta play this again, people. Listen to this line. Like, first of all, it's a fucking well-written line. But again, it hits the nail right on the head.
People are going to expect me to actually look at that
Listen to this.
trash. My perspective on previous releases, even, games I loved, has soured. Bethesda is like a chef with a time machine, going back to the past to take a dump on every plate of food I've ever eaten from them.
Does that not sum it up? I mean, it's not going to sum it up for all of you. Like, I still love Skyrim, but I wholly have to admit I only love the mods from Skyrim. I'm glad the base game is there so the modders could add in what they did and make it the game it is. But is Skyrim like right off the shelf? 2011, even in 2011, it was a great game because it was completely open world and you could do so many things, and they put in a few mechanics and things that really hadn't been seen before. Only a few, but a few. Games going forward after that get a lot better with RPGs, fantasy RPGs. It's just they didn't sell as well. They weren't Bethesda. They didn't have the name brand. But I mean, I'm always going to play Skyrim until they tell me I can no longer add mods to it without paying for them, and then I won't. But for a lot of you, do you not feel kind of like this guy does? Like Bethesda leaves such a bad taste in your mouth over what's gone on lately and what's going to be going on that you're like, even looking back over their past games that you've enjoyed is hard to do now? Is that taste to the back of your mouth? You know what I'm saying?
Their shit sucks. It's not even funny bad for an audience at this point, as even the bugs are repeats of past titles. I don't want to play it. They don't want me to play it, at least not if I'm going to say anything about it that isn't brain-dead praise.
Exactly.
When they respond bizarrely to criticism, it doesn't even fire me up like another company's attempts might. It's simply pathetic to look at. It's not a case of, how dare you? It's, ew. It's sad. I'd rather pretend it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
They have somehow become uniquely worthless for me to engage with.
Bad, pathetic,
even
and
amongst
worthless as a company.
of sinister peers of theirs.
That's the trifecta.
I think what it is, to me, they're not just soulless like so many other studios and their output. They're actively soul-draining to even think about or speculate on. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.
No, I see what I mean. It actually gets pretty deep towards the end. Not all of you or not all of us are going to feel exactly like this person does. Everybody feels differently about things. But sad, pathetic, and worthless are now all words that really do describe Bethesda Studios. It is sad. It is very, very, very sad. At the same time, they've been warned. Their fans have tried to warn them, don't do this. You know, there's every chance in the world to turn the ship away from oncoming disaster. To put out a game that's finished, to put out a game that isn't buggy, to put out a game that didn't lie to people about what it was going to be. Not just chase after the bucks. Treat your people with respect. All of these have flown by unlistening ears. They are tunnel visioned towards more and more money, and they are completely and utterly full of themselves. They think they're the shit. I'm not going to sit here and tell you don't buy Bethesda products. I am going to sit here and tell you I'm not buying a Bethesda product until I've waited months and months after its release to see how it did, how the company acted, whether the game was finished, whether the game had a lot of bugs, whether people were still interested later, you know, how they treated the fans, how they dealt with negativity. Because without seeing a massive change, Bethesda will continue to be sad, pathetic, and worthless. That was Harmful Opinions. Check it out down below. This is my opinion. My name is Dredd. This is Mist Valley Entertainment News. Talk to y'all later. Thank you so much. Don't forget to leave a like down below and do all that other good stuff. Because that there stuff is helpful. Appreciate you all so much. Get the thing over there. That thing. Yeah. That thing. That would be great. Thank you so much. Everybody.